It's Clark and Perry on the case. Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry.
Do what it takes.
Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry. Investigate.
The activities and interests of local artists in the Windy City's finest throughout both Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Alberta. Available on TELUS, Optic TV, On Demand, VidFlex, YouTube, and more for limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
Da-na-na-na.
So we might want to keep the lights on for a little because we'll have to do some makeup. What we're going to do, I guess, okay, so the theme that I'm going with for this photo shoot, I've been exploring with colors of lighting and the moods and emotions that elicits.
Okay.
So we're doing blue is
Blue.
the color of lighting. I have a bunch of different like blue things that we can play with, see what we are drawn to.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest emotions that blue kind of indicates is like sadness or grief or depression, like those kinds of tangible things. And so with the lighting and the kind of reflection, we are going to do some glitter.
Okay.
But my goal is to kind of do glitter tears.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's going to be, just some little glitter tears that go down the face.
Okay.
In order to do that, so this is like a glitter paste, if you want to look at it. So it's water. You can poke your
Very
finger in there if you want.
Here, if I may show this off.
Also smells delicious.
It does. It smells like vanilla.
I know. It's lovely.
Ooh. And fresh soap as well too.
Gotta love it, honestly.
Vanilla fresh soap.
Yeah, so if you want to poke into it, it's kind of like Vaseline with glitter in it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So it can go on your skin or your hair. So I have literally like combed it through my whole hair one time.
Oh my goodness.
And all it takes is water to wash it off. Like it's so easy for it to come out. It's my favorite thing.
Wow,
It's so easy.
That went from one person's worst nightmare
Yeah.
to now somebody's
because
best
normally glitter is horrible and you
Right.
find it in places you never want it in. This
Yeah.
stuff is great and I love it.
That's what I find too.
But because it is fairly translucent,
Mhm.
like you kind of need a little bit of light for it to show up.
Okay.
What we're gonna do is put a base on it first.
Okay.
So that's where this stuff comes in. And what we're gonna do is this silver bit here. We're gonna kind of do the little glitter in that first, or the tears, I guess, in this first,
Okay.
and then add the glitter. on
Glitter in
top of it.
post. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that is the plan. Okay, so normally I do this I do my own makeup. Do you want to try to do your own makeup?
Yeah, let's try it out.
Love it.
I've done it once or twice, but I've been a true pro.
Okay, so we have this teeny tiny compact that we're using as a mirror.
Okay, all right.
Because we are a very low tech operation.
Okay, right on.
Very low tech. Okay.
And that's something I was meaning to
Yes.
ask you as well too. So you've been doing photography for how long?
Honestly, I started picking it up in middle school. On like one of those really old digital cameras, like the big brick of the things.
Yeah.
So I was probably like 12
Yeah.
when I really started to get into it.
What is the most amount of money you've spent in regards to photography?
A little over $800.
Okay, that is a lot of money still.
It is. It was for my phone,
Okay,
which I bought for the camera.
for the camera. as
For
well,
the
too.
camera.
Okay.
It's like the highest tech camera that existed at the moment. It has like a macro lens, so you can zoom in really close to things. It also takes really cool photos in the dark, which I love. Like I got to see the Northern Lights and take photos with them a little while ago. Turned out so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you bought it strictly for the camera. What about
Yes.
the camera was really nice about it?
Yeah,
guess?
I think it was the macro lens that drew me in because you can get really close into things and see
Okay.
things that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
And then the photos in the dark were really cool.
Yeah.
I like the stars and the moon and those kinds of things. And with this phone, I can actually like use the 100% zoom, take a picture of the moon, and it'll stabilize and like show it like you're zooming in through a telescope. And it's the
Wow.
coolest thing.
Wow.
So that was
Okay.
really what drew me to it, was the capabilities of that. Yeah.
I can see where that is definitely appealing for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So, paintbrush. These paints are really cool because they're water activated.
Yeah.
And they stay on quite well, unless
Mhm.
obviously you like cry them off.
Yeah.
But you just kind of use them like you would regular paint. I'm just going to move that off. So what you do is I'm just going to draw a little teardrop. It can literally just be like a little streak
Yeah.
Doesn't have to look like much because, I mean, if you could really just exaggerate and do an actual teardrop,
Yeah.
but it doesn't show as well,
Yeah.
right?
It
If you're
doesn't show
only-
as well as you'd think it would.
Yeah, you're only really going to get glimpses of this shimmer,
Yeah.
which is kind of the idea if
Mhm.
everything works out the way it should. So if you just do little streaks of this where you think the tears should be,
Mhm.
kind of just, I guess, wherever you feel like
Yeah.
they live
Yeah.
is where they're going to live. Yeah. And it's just kind of playing with it. Like, if you want them to be the same, they can be the same.
Mhm.
You want them to look different, they can look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do a couple layers of this stuff
Mhm.
just to really kind of pop up the silver of the shine. We're doing silver instead of gold because the blue lighting will look better with it.
Okay.
Color theory wise. Yeah, okay.
You mentioned color theory as well too.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of color theory that comes into your work?
Right now, yes.
Yes.
It is something that I really like to play with,
Mhm.
especially with the emotions that the colors can bring out.
Right.
But also, if you're using color lighting, color theory is helpful for like costuming and makeup too. Because I mean, if you're using red light and you're wearing something blue, it's going to look purple.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you really have to kind of learn those things. Your turn.
Okay. All right. Let's do this up.
Yeah, you might need a little bit more water, so you can just dip it in there.
Really doesn't look like you use much.
No, you don't. That's the nice thing. It's very thin.
Oh man, that's very apparent.
No, that's okay. It just means you don't have to do 2 coats.
Excellent. So I noticed that we're kind of doing like little spots, small streaks.
Yes.
Why aren't we doing super long ones or anything like that?
I didn't feel like doing super long ones, but if you feel like it, you can go for it.
No, I'm gonna
'Cause
trust
for-
your instincts.
Because for me, it was like the individual tier, rather than like tier streaks. So it's just like
Okay.
the artistic vision that I had was just individual tiers rather than, full on like sobbing, crying.
Right on. I'm inclined to agree as well too. Okay.
It's looking
excellent.
great so far.
Excellent. Do I need I probably need a second coat on this guy.
Yeah,
here.
I would.
All right, let's get a little bit more. Excellent. All right.
Perfect.
How do I look? Excellent. Thanks, Dan.
Okay, so steal that from you. Okay. So then we do what I do, which is not real. Most people have wipes. This case gets all the makeup on it
Okay.
all the time.
Excellent.
It's just easy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and it's just like paint. It comes right off.
Mm-hmm.
Just dry it off like that. All right, so we are going to use the same brush for the glitter.
Okay.
Sometimes the brush likes the glitter, sometimes it doesn't. We might have to use our fingers. We will see.
Okay.
But you're going to have to take like a scoop of it,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a clump,
Yep.
and then you are just going to push it on. See, we might have to use our fingers just because. Yeah, so it just adds like a little bit more glitter to it.
Yeah, a little bit more of a shine.
Yeah, I'm going to try with my finger and just see if it'll do it a little better. Just because of the Vaseline, it's just hard to see. Oh yeah, see, fingers are better.
Okay, it's official.
Yeah.
I'll try fingers as well too. Well, actually, I should use a mirror as well. I'll wait my turn.
Okay, so, I mean, if you get excess glitter other places, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Tears get streaky, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's just kind of, you don't have to be good at makeup to add it in photos.
Mm-hmm.
It's just playing with it. Like I have so many really bad, cringy photos that are in like my computer in the deep archives of when I was learning
Yeah.
and trying things.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
Well, and I'm still learning and trying things, so it's just gotta play with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, So there we go.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I really see the shine when it comes
Yes.
to that.
Okay, and then mirror.
Perfect. Quite a lot there.
Yeah. That is totally fine. It looks great.
I cried a lot of glitter tears.
Just the kind of tears that you want to be crying. Nobody wants actual tears, right?
So, well, actually, kind of speaking of to glitter and these silver tears as well too. What is the vision that you're looking for in this?
Yeah.
As well,
Okay.
too?
So like I said it before, I'm running with the themes of sadness and grief.
Yeah.
And I think those can be kind of like it can be devastating, but they can also be beautiful, which is what I'm going with the glitter in it. So my plan is we have a couple different blue backgrounds that we can play with. So some of them are just a, oh yeah, see, that looks great. Look at you. Amazing. So some of them are just like a plain blue background.
Okay.
Others are like, you know, when the sun goes through the water and you get those kind of ripple things. Saved a couple of those. I did save a couple like space kind of galaxies as well. So because what I do is self-photography, basically we will set it up and kind of decide which fits the vibe we're looking for, and what kind of elicits that sadness response for how you're feeling. So I guess tragic is the best way that I'm looking at. Like, you don't have to pull out actual tears. There doesn't have to be any actual sadness involved. It's just that feeling of being alone and being sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is what we're going for. One of the things that you should kind of be aware of with sadness and things like that in terms of photography is body language as well.
Yeah.
So like when you're taking the photos, again, this is very low tech. So what I do is I usually have my phone up on something that can be a stand.
Okay.
I'll have something as a base, so like my water bottle in this sense. And what I will do is I will have my camera kind of set up like this, and I will look at how it's framing things.
Okay. Yeah.
And then if I like the way that it's framing it, then I kind of leave it here and take photos that way.
Yeah.
So
Set the timer, do the thing. Yeah.
set the timer. But the cool thing about this phone is it has a pen.
Ooh.
But the pen has this button on it. And so what I do is I keep this in my hand and I press the button. And if I press the button, it takes the photo.
That is
which makes my life
$800.
yeah, it makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to like run for the timer
Right.
all the time. I just use this, which makes it that much easier.
That's fantastic.
Let me just make sure that it's working the way that it should. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of how that works. So I guess what we're gonna do is we can set up the projector.
Okay.
And then we will kind of play with these. I will take a couple photos and show you how I do it, and then you're on.
Sweet. All right,
Okay,
let's try it out.
so-
Perry's on backup lighting right now, so
it's just warming itself up.
you have some other
Yes.
pieces to kind of present as well too,
I
to kind of
do,
show
yeah.
off a little bit more of what we're looking for as well
Yes.
too. Do you mind if we're able to kind of like we can splay them right at the
Yeah,
end of the
absolutely.
table here and just kind of show off?
Yeah, there is quite a few of them. I kind of put them into categories as well.
Okay.
So the first three are like self-photography. So these are things that I did by myself, taking of myself, to kind of show you the different things that you can do. So this one, it's why printing is really hard for photos. You should find a studio this was just London Drugs, but you should find a studio that does really nice ones, because in the photo you can see the outline of my face, but it moves through the lighting.
Yeah.
Not so much in the picture, right? Whereas this one, the lighting worked really well and you can see everything.
Yeah. And this one is your profile picture.
It is on my Instagram. Look
Yeah.
for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a shoot that I did with red lighting on Valentine's Day.
Amazing.
Yeah, so these are like self-photography is something I've only recently kind of delved into. This was just my bedroom with a lamp. So like you can literally use anything.
Anything. and
Yeah, this was
everything.
also a lamp that I had.
That's amazing.
So yeah, you can use whatever you have. You don't need fancy equipment or anything. You just need a camera, any kind of camera, and some lighting.
And so how long have you been doing self-photography again?
So self-photography, this has only been in the recent year and a half, I think, is when I
Okay.
started self-photography. I was a little shy to get in front of the camera before that. It was much easier taking pictures of other people than it was taking pictures of myself. But through COVID and like an isolation that I had to do because of medical issues, it was like, okay, well, I can't take pictures of people.
Because you can't be around them.
Yes, so I guess we're taking pictures of me.
Yeah.
And that's what turned out that. All right, so these next ones are some photos that I've taken of just things in the wild. So this was a plane.
That is a great shot.
So this is one of those things that I talk about cinematic, as I managed to capture it right in the middle of it. And so it really just adds to the, I guess, balance of the photo.
I was going to say a lot of people just appreciate that because of just basic symmetry.
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing. Symmetry is something. So symmetry or unsymmetry are things that you can play with depending on the vibe you want in your photos.
And be a direct message for something, right?
Yeah. So like this one is light and shadows. So it kind of elicits some fun, dark feelings.
Very interesting.
I like abandoned buildings quite a bit. So yeah, there will be a lot of these like a little abandoned building shots that I have. I mean, living in the prairies, you can just find them anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can ask people to take photos of them. This is a railway at
Wow.
sunset.
and wow, that is such a fantastic. I love the sky. The
Right,
sky
isn't it beautiful?
comes up with so many different colors. And,
It does.
And schemes
I'm
and
constantly
everything.
taking pictures of sunsets and sunrises and all of the things. Yeah, and when you find reflective surfaces, it's lovely. This is another abandoned house that I had the privilege of looking at.
Beautiful.
So is this one. This is in Manitoba. It is for sure haunted. That house is haunted, 100%. I had a terrifying experience at this house. It spooks me to this day.
And that's the only picture we now have of it.
Yes. There was a couple. Printing it out made me queasy, but we did it because it's a beautiful photo. Terrifying house. It's dark on the inside down here, but there is a window on this side of the house where the sun should be coming through, and it's not. And I don't love that.
That's definitely got some Silent Hill vibes going
Yeah.
on as well too.
Yeah, so like
Nope.
wildlife and old buildings are fun to take pictures of because it's just, there are things in your life, things that you see that are beautiful and aesthetic to you. And if you frame them in a specific way, you can tell a story.
Yeah.
These next ones are shots I've taken of people. This is what I talked about earlier in the interview where it's like the inspiration behind things. So this is an abandoned building, but my friend is through that window there. And with the angle that I used, it kind of throws everybody, like it makes me feel uneasy.
Yeah, I was about to say. Its field of view is very expanded as well too. It looks like round along the edges. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not perfectly symmetrical, so it gives you the kind of off-putting feeling. Yeah. So this is one of the earlier ones I did where I was playing with foreground and background, and obviously it didn't, because it didn't focus on the foreground of the flowers and it focuses on my sister, it makes it a very different photo than if I were to blur her out and focus on the flowers.
Right.
And then this one and this one are from the gender project that I did in university.
I remember being a part of that.
Yes.
We used similarly this glitter technique as well too. So.
I do like the glitter.
Yeah.
I do like the glitter. So for this project, it was very much like a, for men and women, what are the differences in your gender that you feel like you are told versus what you actually feel? And so, I mean, these elicit very different emotions to me, but they were all personal to the person. Like this one feels kind of sad and constrained, and this one feels angry to me, which is very different in their own experiences of it, which I love.
Absolutely.
And then this is the last one that I took which kind of is what started me playing with light.
Okay.
So this is like she's standing in front of a car. You can't see the car, but you can see her. Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
That, and again, in contrast, the lack of light can also just be as beautiful as
absolutely
lots of bright colors as well too.
Yeah, silhouettes are fun. Shadows are fun. Like, yeah, just anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so these are kind of, the examples of me squinting without my glasses. If you want to come over and look at these images of what I picked. So there is this one. This one could be fun.
Ooh, yeah. Deep sea. Love the blue tones.
Some starry skies. Clouds. This is a very dark blue, which I wonder how will affect the lighting that the camera picks up is another thing. Yeah, so there's all these different ones that we can kind of try. What I usually do, and then we zoom in to kind of, as far as you want to get the effect you want and to cover your surface.
Yeah.
So for example, this one. And then I'm probably going to have to move my phone a little closer.
Okay.
So I will just take my stand. Oh.
Round 2.
Be nice. Thank you. This is the lovely bit about working with technology.
Yeah.
Is sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, we improvise.
The point is still made though, just with a water bottle and a quick stand, that is
it's all you need.
You're able to do so
Yeah.
much, right?
It is absolutely all you need.
I'll be back up as well too, because it's an $800 phone. We don't want to
We
drop
don't want
this.
to kill it. Speaking of back,
I was prepared and I still failed.
Can you pull on this bit while I put it in?
You got it.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. That should be. It works.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're gonna carry this guy. So I don't want to put him in like direct line of the lighting, which seems to be functioning. So what I am gonna do, if we turn the light off, does it interact? Does it affect the lighting? No. Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna put it there, but you can play with distance or closeness depending on what you want. For me, what I'm looking for in the photos I'm gonna take of myself, I really want to focus on the face and the upper body section.
Okay.
Lower body doesn't super matter to me in this one right now.
Yeah.
We'll see, that might change, but as of right now, it should be. I'm just gonna find. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit just to cut out the excess of things. And then, if you can move the mouse, that would be great. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just do a test photo first.
Okay.
So you just kind of put yourself in the area that you think the photo should reach. Again, my handy dandy pen, but you can do this with a timer. And then I'll just kind of look at the camera and take a photo.
I see. Wow. That's helpful.
Yes. So then I'm gonna look at it and see, so the tears are like definitely showing up in this, which is nice. Hello. But I think it's a little too light for the colors I want.
Okay.
So
is that more to the comment of the background?
Yeah, so the color that I'm putting on here is a little too light. So I could, if I really liked the playfulness of the lines in this, I can adjust the lighting.
Oh my goodness.
And lock it into place.
Wow.
And then I can try again and see how that looks. Okay, so that looks cool to highlight the tears, but then you lose my face.
Yeah, that's true.
So it'll depend on what you're wanting to focus on.
Okay.
So if I like the fact that my face is obscured, but you get tears, cool, great. I don't think I love it though. So I'm probably gonna use a different background.
Okay.
To kind of, play with it. So it is a very fly by your seat kind of
a trial
process.
by error process as well
Yes,
too, especially when you're doing it by yourself.
Yes, I don't have a very I could have could have tested this out beforehand and brought it that way. But this way you get the entirety of all of the crazy thought processes that occur.
It's Clark and Perry on the case. Clark and Perry, do what it takes. Clark and Perry, investigate.
The activities and interests of local artists in the Windy City's finest throughout both Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Alberta. Available on TELUS, Optic TV, On Demand, VidFlex, YouTube, and more for limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.